Crazy, crazy, crazy. I better be doing something now. I'm telling you. I better be doing something now. Better late than never. Oh, more. This is crazy. Craziness. That's how I feel right now. You know why. You know I'm just getting in here. Oh. More applause, that's it. I did argue. I did argue. Let's celebrate life and stuff. Let's celebrate life and shit. I can't lose them. They know where I am. Stay put. We live Mo 3 times Thursday night 7:30. I was here. Where were you guys? Oh my god. I know it. I know what happened. I know what happened. Love's fault. It's Love's fault. It's all her fault. I'm not taking responsibility for that mishap because I am walking in the light of my president of the United States, Donald Trump, who never takes accountability for anything. Look, I can't even talk, just like the president. See how good I'm doing. Hope you got air. I have air, so if you hear a little raspiness in the background, it's a fan, it's an air conditioner turned on to high. It's high. Like Snoop Dogg high. No, like Snoop Dogg high. But you know, it's chilly willy in here. No, I'm actually, and it's still hot, to be honest with you. It's still hot. Before the show started, I took a cold shower. But how's everybody doing? Ramid, Flashback, Love. How are you guys? Kato, what's good? Trying to survive this heat of this war. This war. Is that thunders? Is that what we got going here? All right, here's the live chat. Let's make it look a little there. Let's get that there. Let's get our chat select up here. Yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about. Give it up. We're at war, but not at war, at war. You know what I mean? How we're living. That is how we're living. That is how we're living right now, guys. Is that thunderstorms? I think that's what we got. Facts.
Ain't nothing.
Ain't nothing.
It's not true.
He's saying it is something. that. Look at that talking. Hey, guys, I'm gonna need y'all to do this tonight. It's called the we. I know. You know what? F it. This is how we're doing it. That's how we'll start it off. Listen, before I start though, it's the we episodes. I am Mo 3 times, and it's called we because we in here. I don't know if you guys have met the game. If you're first time listener, watcher, or whatever, please hit like, share, subscribe, hit the alerts, and we appreciate you for being here. And since you're here, you are definitely a member of the
many people know them as the Jump Out Boys in their city.
The Jump Out Gang. The Jump Out Gang. Indeed. All right. Blah, 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 blah. All right. So this week we got Iran. Okay. Since the last time I seen you guys, I went on live on Twitch. I think this was Saturday night. So Saturday night, I went on Twitch and I was talking. I was probably on from maybe 8 till 10, something like that. Some weird late hours, because I got a Twitch out there, and I was twitching, talking Twitch, getting clicks. That's what I call it. Blah blah blah. All right. So after that, I go get in bed. I go to sleep. I wake up. And I'm scrolling, because I'm a wake-up scroller. Yeah, that's right. I'm nasty. I don't even brush my teeth. I grab my phone, and I start scrolling. Right? And then I start seeing, like, a post here. I'm like, what? And I post here, and they're like, yo, we just bombed Iran. I don't know. That horn isn't, like... Honestly, it's not...
This shit ain't funny.
It's not funny. Not funny. Not funny. And I instantly, in my stomach, I was like, oh, ain't this some bullshit? Like, I didn't expect it. But it wasn't like, it didn't surprise me. I gotta stop doing that.
Say something deep.
I guess that's the deepest I can
ain't got
get.
all day, boy. Be deep.
I did not expect this, but I did not... I wasn't like, oh my God, this is... I was not stunned. I was not stunned about it. So yeah. All right, so guys, if you know you've been watching the news, 3 different locations in Iran were bombed by the Trump administration, called these strikes. And Donald Trump was tweeting and stuff like that, and stuff like that. I was talking on the flashback earlier, and he was like, 3 times you be doing like the news, and you be going in depth with the news and everything like that. Like, I go in depth, I tell you the story, a little background, I give you prequels, little insights. We'll take like a turn down like an alley or something, and then I'll pop back out with some facts, because I like facts, and that's why we be taking quizzes and stuff like that. I know that's not the right English or anything, but we'll take quizzes, and I go through it in my own ADHD, crazy, manic type of way. I appreciate everybody that puts up with my bullshit week in, week out. In the efforts to fight misinformation, to, dig deeper into the headlines and stuff like that. And I get it. You've been watching news all week. You're like, he's saying the same stuff all the time. And you're absolutely right. I am saying that. But the thing is, I don't really watch the news or anything like that. But that's what we were talking about. Me and Flashback were talking about that. Like, he's like, maybe you should give us more of your opinion of the news. And I usually do. Hang on, Sherry.
Say something deep.
And I usually do. That's what he's saying. Say something. Like, I usually do give my impression of the news. But guys, help me out. It's the we episodes. And damn it, each week, every Wednesday, I hop on here and I run my mouth between 60 minutes to let me get my head in a frame. I run my mouth for like 60 minutes straight. 60 minutes straight. Sometimes, I gotta break down some stuff. So I have like a little prompter up so you guys can get the right details and everything. I'm not flubbing them. while I'm giving you that information. Sometimes it's just an outline. Sometimes I'm up here freestyling. But I can go for it. Like, this is nothing. I can talk for 60 minutes straight. Straight. And I don't want to do that because it's the we episodes, not the me episodes. You feel me? You dig? It's not just me in this. This is we Wednesday. I know I'm sounding all incredibly just and all that stuff. But listen, I call it the we episodes because I got the...
Many people know them as the Jump Out Boys in their city.
I got the Jump Out gang in the city. That's you guys. That's you guys in the chat. That's you guys in the chat. While we're sitting in pre-hell right now, that's how the weather feels. Like the lobby to Hades. But I also have a call-in line, guys. And let me tell you what, if you're using man's modern type of cell phone, like if you got a regular cell phone from any of the major carriers, like you could call this number 313-825-5557, and 99.9999 times out of 100, it's not gonna cost you anything. The only time it will cost you something is if you got some weird plan. Now, I'm not trying to make fun of your cell phone plans out there. If you're cell phone plan deficient, I wouldn't do that to you. Damn it, I'm not doing that to you. I say that because I have that call-in line and I want you to use it. You hear me? I know this is the season of protest and I'm about to protest my own live show right now. Because I don't get to hear from the YOU. Like, it's always me up here, 60 minutes of me talking. So when Flashback is telling me, like, Joy Reid is giving some advice, and she's like a great journalist, and she does podcasts, and she's been on a show, and she's been around some professional stuff. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm more intrigued. Let me see more of what she said, and I found her interview with the Breakfast Club that I guess aired today. I didn't ask Flashback which episode. I just kind of figured it out because that's kind of what I do. I'd be doing research. But tell me, am I right, Flashback? It was a Breakfast Club interview you were referring to. We were talking about, you know, we episodes, how I present the information to the people. Right? Let me know. Let me know, Flashback. I know there's a little delay on the chat, so I'll give grace. So I will show grace right now while I wait for you to respond to me. I don't know what that is. All right, so this was going to be the show today, but after having a conversation with Flashback, I went on and I watched that episode of The Breakfast Club with Joy Reid, and it was amazing. Like, she broke it down, and she gave the same information to you that I would have given to you this evening. So, you know, I compiled some stuff for a couple days, and I was like, damn, like, he's kind of right. Because even by the time I get to you guys on Wednesday, you know most of everything. Now, I do get some, oh, I didn't know this, I didn't know that, and yeah, I know. But really, week in, week out, this is about us. So, with that in mind, I invite you. You call in. You let me know. You hit that chat. You let me know what we're talking about. Ramid said Trump cursing. Ramid, you're absolutely right. Trump used his potty mouth, and we're going to talk about it. Let's find a video. That's what we'll do. Oh, look. This might be it. I'm going to throw it up on the monitors. Oh, wow. That looks ridiculous. All right, I'll throw it up right here. Maybe I'll put it in YouTube. And then I'll go here. It looks like a 30-second clip. All right. Here we go. Are you ready to listen to this Donald Trump cursing? Let us go right now.
I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I'm not happy with Israel.
And there you go, guys. There you go. All right, so check this out. Oh my God, you guys lost me. Where am I? All right, so this is what happened. I don't know because I was live streaming, so I don't know. All right, so I woke up, I guess it was Sunday morning to news that we had bombed, or was it Friday night or Saturday morning? Saturday morning? Love, call in real quick. I need your help with something. Like call the line, if you could please. 313-825-5557. That's the line. All right. So what happened was Israel bombed Iran. Iran bombed Israel. United States bombed Iran. Basically, that is the timeline. Right. I think last Wednesday I was talking about because it was Iran bombing Israel, and Israel's missile shield was going to work full time, and they were trying to saturate it. And this was in response to Israel bombing Iran, and then the United States dropped the big bombs on them, the bunker busters onto some Iranian nuclear type sites. That's what he's talking about. Now, and since then, Donald Trump was trying to, force a ceasefire between Israel and Iran, and they had come to some type of tentative ad hoc agreement, if I'm understanding this correctly. And in response to this, Iran shot off a missile, and Donald Trump's trying to explain, like, he shot a missile, and it might have been like a dud. Give me a second. If Google spoke my language, I think I saw Iranian ceasefire. Let me see if I can bring it up. All right, so Iran shot an extra missile after they were supposed to be in ceasefire. Now, the way the news explains it is that Iran was supposed to be in ceasefire at 1,200 hours, while Israel's supposed to be in ceasefire at 2,400 hours, which tells me that they didn't sync their watches to get on the same page as a ceasefire. And honestly, I don't know the international rules of why that would make sense to start a ceasefire at a time for this country and a time at this country, but that is what the major news was saying. They were saying that, I don't know if one was 24 and the other one was 1,200 hours, but there was a time difference between both countries starting that ceasefire. So what we get is Iran shooting a missile that even President Trump says did not explode and was basically a dud. And then he says Israel either retaliated or at the same time decided to, I wouldn't say combat bar, but bomb the shit out of Iran. And he is very upset and frustrated with Israel right now. And in pointing out that frustration, he threw out an F word. Now, Love, we were talking about this earlier, and you still haven't called in. Yeah. You still not have called in. Have not called in, and that's really terrible. Because we were talking about this earlier. Um, about the F word, and I was like, that obviously does that surprise anybody? Like I knew it was coming. I knew that the F word was coming. Uh, it's been gloves off. The kitchen sink has been thrown since effing grabbing pussies. Since pussy grabbing, all holds, no holds barred. Excuse me. I had to get it together in my head. What is that saying? No holds barred. That means whatever's whatever. All right, so once again,
with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
do we know what we're doing? Does Pete Hegseth know what he's doing? That's what I have to know. What is this? That's crazy. I didn't ask for all of that.
Hello?
Love. How are you?
Well, I think so.
Give me a second. Don't get ahead of yourself. Let me raise you up a little bit.
Because you
I don't know what they call that stuff, but that little like
ignore my call. So I don't know. I don't feel about this. I feel so.
You feel so violated? Well, damn.
Yeah.
Hey, auntie. Yeah, all right. So what do you think about this? Like, how did you feel waking up? Like, we woke up on was this on Saturday or Sunday, first of all? Was this like before Dolce? Did we go to
What?
did we go get bakery goods after hearing this? Or what?
We went on Saturday to get
Okay.
baked goods.
And this happened on Sunday morning, right?
No, wait, no, Sunday. I'm sorry. We went Sunday. I'm sorry.
Did it go Sunday? So this happened Sunday or was it
Yeah, we
Saturday?
went Sunday morning. It happened Monday?
It didn't happen Monday.
I think it happened Monday. Yeah, it happened Monday.
Really? I thought, no, maybe Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Let me get this right.
I think it was Monday.
Look, it's a blur for me. Three days ago? What's today, Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
Saturday 12. It was Saturday, Eastern time.
Oh, Saturday.
So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So Friday night, I was on Twitch, went to sleep, and then Saturday, that's what happened. And I think we just hung out on Saturday. I don't remember doing anything on Saturday. It's been a blur to me.
I don't remember.
There's been so much going on here. So, all right. First of all, what do you think about the U.S. bombing Iran? Do you think it was necessary?
No.
Why not?
Absolutely not. I think because I mean, I don't want to talk about this on the show, but I think that Trump was persuaded and he reacted. He got hyped, reacted, and went and just did whatever he thought was right.
So you think Benjamin Netanyahu gassed him up to bomb Iran? Donald, you need to drop the big one.
How I know, because when he said the F word, he's upset, and he said he's mad at Israel because
They had
You know,
agreed
basically
already.
he's basically, yeah, he already said he had a, you know, basically he didn't say it, but we know he said he still betrayed, and he know he lied to him. That Yahoo lied to him, or whatever his name is, lied to him. So he was mad,
All right,
and
all
he felt
right.
betrayed, and that's what he said. I'm even more mad at Israel than
My next question would
Iran,
be,
or it's actually
do
Iran,
you
but
think that he's
mhm.
upset that Israel like decided to drop, because he said it was a lot of bombs. Do you think he's upset that Israel decided to still continue to attack like it was just like a normal day, even though that they know that they were going into a ceasefire? Do you think that's why he was upset, or do you think he could be upset because he was like, "Listen, I'm going to have our Air Force going in these B-2 bombers, drop these big boys, these bombers on these sites. They're going to be precise. They're going to be accurate. They're going to be a time. They're going to be on time. They're going to, and we'll talk about this later. They're going to obliterate these targets, and then that's it. Then that's that." Do you think it was some sort of, he felt like he was showed up by Israel, and that he wanted to just make that statement, and that for that to just to be it?
Yeah, I think that he, you know, he went on True Social or whatever his thing is, and he was like, "Oh, we negotiated a peace treaty, and you know everything is done, and we're gonna have peace." And then they go and do the opposite. He made him look like a fool in front of the world. So he's embarrassed. And of course, what happens when people get embarrassed?
They get angry,
Mad. Like, yeah, he's angry.
a little
He's
resentful.
angry at both of them because you know, according to him, he was telling everyone, "I just talked to them and everything's cool." And you know, and everyone agreed that everything is gonna end and everyone's fine. And you know, and then it wasn't.
Did you see
So now he's just
Kato's?
like,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish up.
no, I'm just saying. I mean, he's just mad. You know, his ego's hurt because he came out and said all this and it wasn't true. You know, he looks like the fool that he is.
And you know what? He's kind of getting a taste of his own medicine, because this is what he's been doing
Hmm.
to like people in his, well, at least his first term. Like if something wrong happened, he hung you out to dry. You guys would have a plan. Presumably, they'd be in the meeting. "Hey, Mr. President, this is what our plan is. What we're going to do," and then he would just go off blazing doing his own thing. And then they were sent there to just look like, oh, kind of cover it up for him and clean up his mess. And it just seems like he got called out in public, cleaning up the mess of Benjamin Netanyahu. Did you know
And you
that
know
in
what?
Israel
And
that
you know
they,
he's petty.
like a lot of political analysts over there, they're talking about these people are on the verge of civil war. Not only for
Right. And let me
a cultural, where they have basically apartheid going over there, but there's also what's going on with them bombing the Palestinians. So there's a lot of people. So like when there's people out there like talking about Israelis and Jewish people out there, like you got to understand it isn't all. They're not all of them. I know you see, like we see videos of IDF soldiers treating these Palestinians inhumanely, or we see like the racist Israelis, you know, protesting in the street and just saying offlandish and wild
Mhm.
shit on social media. But you got to remember, like, take all of that with a grain of salt, because really what social media is out there to do is to inflame and
Mhm.
because that conflict attracts us to want to watch more, and then that sells ads. So like really you do have to understand that not everybody, it's not like they have a big country of people and they're all in favor of what's going on there. There's a lot of people
Right. Right.
who have an issue with how the government's handled the situation domestically
No,
and
yeah,
in
absolutely.
Gaza. So
What I was gonna say a little bit a minute ago was that I think Trump is mad and he's very petty, and I think that I wouldn't be surprised if he just abandoned everything and said, "I'm cleaning my hands. I already talked to y'all. Y'all solve this y'all on your own." I mean, he has been petty since his first time in at the White House, and then this time again. So let's be honest. I wouldn't doubt that he did that because he could be like, "Bye. I don't care about any of y'all. I'm not doing anything. You're not getting anything from the U.S." And that's it.
just
Because he is petty and
ghost the entire situation. Yeah,
and he's very immature and he takes everything personal.
I think that
And
would probably be.
and like I
I think that would probably be a good move for him to actually do that. Just ghost the entire situation. Because I think far, like above and all, the majority of Americans want us to stay out of that conflict that's going on over there. You know, uh, but also on that side of the business is like we talk about being democracy and Republicans and Democrats and stuff like that. We are still ruled by capitalism, and really, like this whole thing, they're saying that they're going after these nuclear facilities. We know, like the top experts are saying time and time again that Iran has not reached those nuclear capabilities. Benjamin Netanyahu, as pointed out correctly by the what's that show on Comedy Central? Um, I like watching sometimes. Like I watch the clips of it with Josh Johnson in it. They're the correspondents. I forget his name. The Daily Show. All right. Oh yeah. So on the Daily Show, they did like a big compilation of Benjamin Netanyahu getting up in front of the world, and each time, and this has been going on for decades now. That he says that
gaslighting.
yeah,
Gaslighting.
yeah,
I
he's
saw
been
that.
gaslighting.
I saw that, yeah.
Perfect word. And that Benjamin Netanyahu each and every time says they could be hours away from enriching uraniums and getting their hands on nuclear weapons and creating this stuff. When that's just not the case. Iran does have big like an abundance of uranium. I think Australia it has like the largest deposits of uranium in the world, and basically with uranium they are it's like a bag of M&Ms. You got brown M&Ms. Because there's a lot of brown M&Ms in the bag usually, and then you got the blue M&Ms which aren't. And those are the two different types of uranium. So the more you have, the more you can pick through and find the blue ones, and then they enrich it by a process that I researched just for the show that we're not even gonna go to because I know you guys get bored when I turn geek. But basically, that's what it is. And then when you look at you go through all that work, and they are getting like a hockey puck sized, glob of matter. So, you have three huge facilities. Donald Trump has already said beforehand that he's going to get that he was going to attack Iranian nuclear facilities and keep them from enriching uranium and getting their hands on nuclear weapon. I mean, he said it days before the attack, so it wouldn't be hard really to get all of that, whatever they've enriched, or it wouldn't be hard to take it out of there and transport it somewhere else and tuck it away safely. All in all, it seemed like a big dog and pony show. It makes Donald Trump look like a bold and ferocious, no nonsense leader to the rest of the world. But we know what it is. We know it. It's just a show, like inflated muscles, if you will. Good evening, Winnie Boo.
Totally agree.
Yeah, so he's been cursing. So Ramid gave us this story about Trump cursing at the reporters. We got it first. We got the first time that a sitting United States president has dropped the F word to the major press. Is there ever going to be some type of normalcy in American politics again? Is there ever going to go back to, I don't know, like a gilded age where politicians repress their brutal ass instincts in favor of being, politically correct and inviting to all of its constituents? Are we going to have people out here? Are we going to be attracted to as like a population to people that are attention getters and say attention grabbing things?
I mean, I think that was just an honest moment for him. Like, it's probably the most honest I've ever seen him. He was mad and he just came out. You know what? I would like to see more of this Donald Trump. I wish he was more honest most of the time. A little more honesty from him, and I think that was just that. You know, I don't think I'm gonna not gonna look into it too deeply.
All
I
right.
just think that he was upset and he just said it, and that's what it was. I don't think he cares what anyone thinks about him. I'm convinced he doesn't care.
Yeah, I'd agree with
Um,
you on that, definitely. Kato
yeah,
asked, Kato did mention the audacity of him saying that they don't know what they're doing. Donald Trump was basically
right.
saying Iran and Israel have been at it so long,
Hmm.
they don't know what they're doing and fighting. And she says
Right.
there's a little bit of audaciousness to him saying that.
Hmm.
What do you think about that comment? I know I see it senses that you're agreeing, but can you tell me why you would agree with that?
Well, because I mean, he's just saying they don't know what they're doing. Like, we made a treaty and they just keep going. Like, obviously he's saying probably they're not experienced, and but in reality, just because he thinks, oh, I have US has the power and I'm gonna make the call, or he thought I'm gonna make the call and it's gonna all end right now. And then once that didn't happen, he's like I said, he's frustrated and angry, and he's just like, oh, they don't know what they're doing because we ended up, we had talked about it, and we ended up saying that we're gonna. But that just shows the lack of respect from both um, Iran and Israel. They don't respect them. So, and you show it by basically just doing whatever they wanted. And that's why he's mad. There's no other way. There's no other reason why he's mad. It's because he knows that they don't respect them.
I like it. I like it.
So,
All right, so Ramid was gracious enough to present us with that subject. Do you have any news worthy things that you've seen this week that you want to discuss or for me to go into?
uh, what did I mention anything earlier? I forgot. I just mentioned the F word. I remember mentioning that to you if you were gonna talk about it.
Yeah, but Ramid
I
got
don't
that one,
know if
so
I.
you got to come up with one next.
Yeah, he came in. Yeah, but I had talked to you about that earlier, even before the show. So
Oh,
although he brought it up,
oh yeah,
I
yeah,
have brought
yeah.
it up to you in person.
You're absolutely right. Still, I'm gonna need another one. We
Another one.
episodes. Move it
Dude,
forward.
now you put me on the spot. I don't remember.
Move it forward. Push it
I don't
forward.
remember anything. Oh God, I don't know. Um, oh, I was talking about but you don't want to talk about it. You say you don't want to talk about the hypocrisy of the Republicans. So I guess that's
On the
probably not a good thing
Republicans
to talk
on
about.
what type of angle? I forgot.
The abortion, the representative from Florida, we talked about her, and then we also talked about what was the other point where I forgot. I'm sorry, I forgot what else we were talking about. We were talking about it earlier. I just forget what the second point was.
Right. It
But
was
anyway, you say you don't
Cat
want to talk about it,
Cat
so that's
Kamek
fine.
had expanded. She got a ectopic pregnancy.
Yeah, yeah, ectopic pregnancy, and then she needed an abortion. Obviously, I don't know if everyone knows that, but
Hold
those
on.
pregnancies they're not, the baby will not survive.
What is an
So, and you can die.
what is an ectopic pregnancy?
Pregnancy is a pregnancy that the baby is growing in the tube, in the
Instead of the
fallopian tube,
uterus.
I think it's called,
Kind of like how
instead
we
of the
have
uterus,
flowers
exactly.
growing in our gutters right now.
Yes.
I gotta get the ladder.
You gotta get the
We got a nice tree growing in our front gutter.
ladder.
That thing,
I
I
told you,
cleaned
and
them, but
you never believe anything I say.
I cleaned them
I gotta
before
tell
winter.
everyone.
I cleaned them
Y'all
before
need to
winter.
believe that.
Everything
He
out.
needs to believe his wife more often.
Yeah, you're
He
right.
doesn't believe anything I tell him.
I was like, those
He
are just
believes
leaves. I like
everything
some
I
leaves
say.
to get up there. I'll get up there. But no, you're right. It's like shit's taking root. I think they got little blossoms on there. They got a whole. Yeah, I'll handle
Told
that.
you.
So yeah, my gutter's having an ectopic pregnancy. But the really thing is, like,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. And the audacity. When we're speaking of audacity, Kato, we're talking about the hypocrisy of the Republican Party. And my thing about it was I didn't want to talk about it anymore because like people are doing compilation videos and stuff like this, and I think this this is absolutely positively newsworthy that somebody that is such a staunch critic of abortion and at any means necessary type of abortion, you know, one of those, not in case of rape or incest or any type of you know, fatalities posed to the mother, but somebody that was just staunchly against it, that when it came to her and her own personal well-being, she didn't stand on her beliefs. She didn't stand on all that bullshit she's been talking about. And that's because
No, she actually, you know what she did instead? She called the governor so that he could call the hospital and give them permission for them to proceed with the procedure for her.
to do a nice
Because
little
she
because
needed to, you know, basically she could have died. And you know, she had as the regular person in Florida, you can't call the governor and say, hey, tell them to save my life.
right.
You're just gonna either die or go to, I don't know, another state nearby. And if you can, most people don't have the money. Most people don't have the means to do this. So basically, you're just disregarding people's lives. I'm not pro-abortion, by the way. I just want to make that clear. But I think that in like the same example, on a type of pregnancy, it has to get you have to get the procedure. It is an abortion. It's not a desirable. It's not like something that you're choosing.
I mean, no, honestly, you are
like
making that
it's not
choice.
for fun. Like,
I mean, you're
wanna
making
have
that
this
choice.
child, and there's just obviously to save your life.
She could have chose to stand on her grounds. That's what she could have did. That's probably what she should have did.
What happens with a lot of women that are conservative is that
Mm-hmm.
they agree with the men that have no idea what they're talking about until it's their time and they are confronted with that situation that affects them personally.
Yeah.
So she didn't care about anyone's life
Right.
Anyone's life because she never had to go through anything like this, and she chose to have her children, and she always never had an issue. But now that she was telling everyone she was pregnant and everything about it, and then ended up being, obviously a pregnancy that wasn't growing healthy, and it was risking her life. And then all of a sudden, her tune changed.
She had a hypocritic
and,
pregnancy. That's what she was. A hypocrisy pregnancy. Like, honestly, she should have kept her word and just fell on her sword on that one, and just
And I mean, and listen,
probably
as
been
a woman,
the best
and
thing.
then if you I don't know if you have it up or not, but no, you don't have it up.
What?
But she blamed the Democrats.
Oh
That
man.
situation, saying that they had spread misinformation, doctors and the providers, that that they weren't telling them the truth, and that they thought that they couldn't perform the abortion because of the Democrats saying
For fear-mongering.
lies.
Yeah.
And blaming it's just amazing the lack of accountability. But it's amazing. I just couldn't get over it. Like reading it, I was like, is she serious?
I think
She's just gonna sit there and not blame herself because she was one of those that was all for it and voted for it, and then just sit there and says, "Oh yeah, is it just misinformation?"
Yeah.
Meanwhile, people are pulling the law and say, "No, ma'am, it's not misinformation."
I don't know if you guys.
It is not misinformation.
I don't know if you guys believe in God or karma or another spirit, but this is what's working through in this case specifically, because really, she experienced that pregnancy shortly, a couple of weeks after Florida issued its 6-week abortion ban. When that abortion ban went into effect, this happened to her. She was one of the loudest proponents against abortion. So,
so when
to
people
me, it's a running.
we're telling her, you understand that a 9-year-old can be raped, or a 10-year-old, an 11-year-old can be raped and get by her own father, get pregnant, and you're making her have this child. She didn't care about any of that.
She understood,
she didn't care about,
but she didn't care.
She didn't care.
And I think that's a problem.
Until it hit her and she needed one, it didn't matter. You know what I mean? It wasn't. Women didn't have an option, but she had an option, and she had her abortion done with no problem.
I mean, as humans, I think we have a lot of different faults. I think as humans that we can share similar shortcomings. But is this an overall thing of? I mean, like, like, we can be greedy or wasteful, and that's seen in a lot of our society. No matter where you go across continents, across cultures, you see these themes. Do you think that is an absolute theme across countries and cultures that people can't realize their own, the power of empathy until something personally affects them? Because what I see is that this only happens to a certain group of people. I mean, Dick Cheney was staunchly against LGBTQ and gay people until he found out he had a gay daughter, and then all of a sudden, oh, we're good over here. You know,
but you know what
such and
though?
such is
With
all
Dick
against
Cheney, for
drugs and wants to
example,
be hard on
I
drugs
think
until their nephew or their son comes home and gets a charge for selling crack out there, and now they want something done because their
but I
son's been
think that
put in
that
jail
goes
for
for
20
a
years
lot of
for a
us.
rock.
I think that goes for a lot of us, though. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think that
Mhm.
goes for a lot of us. I think
Okay.
that a lot of us don't understand how certain things can hurt you or can hurt people
Mhm.
until you experience it and you see it and you're like, oh well, you don't. I mean, it just happened to the Cubans with Mexicans. They thought it was only the Mexicans that were gonna be sent back home,
Mhm.
and now they're crying on social media. You know what I mean? Like it just goes all on different issues. It's not just that. It's not just gay. It's not just all that. I think it happens to a lot of us. Unfortunately, a lot of us don't know what it's like to go through something until we go through that thing. So we disregard it and we don't really give it importance because it doesn't affect us. Oh well, it might affect somebody else. Oh, poor thing, whatever. But you don't really feel it.
I
So
get it.
you don't really know what it's like.
I get what you're
So
saying, but just saying,
the
I'm
point that
saying
I'm
like
trying to get
this,
to is that
Evelyn, in her
real
case,
quick. The point that I'm
Mhm.
trying to get to is that everyone has the right to change their mind because unless you have gone through it, you don't know what it's like. But the fact that she's blaming Democrats, this was her chance to say, "Wow, I was wrong, and maybe I do need to look. We need to revisit and look at this, and and change a few of the things, a few of
Mhm.
the language, some of the language, so that women do have in cases like mine. But instead, you know what she chose to do?
She didn't. She
She
blamed
chose
the
to blame on the
Democrats.
Democrats.
She
That's
said
the
they're film
difference between
runners.
her and and the Nick Cheney.
I
You
mean, so
understand what I'm saying? That's the difference.
she still hasn't. She still hasn't learned her lesson. So I mean, in
She's
this
not.
case, she still has no empathy because she got the abortion that she wanted, right? Did she get her abortion?
Yeah, she did.
Nothing's happened. She's still a congresswoman.
Right.
She can get pregnant again. Hopefully, she doesn't have to go through that again. But if she
I
has
hope
another
not.
ectopic pregnancy, then she'll probably do the same thing. There is no consequences for her.
No.
So when I say, like,
Meanwhile,
I
other
think
women
there's
are threatened to be put in jail or
right.
even do life in prison. But meanwhile, she can call the governor and say, "Oh yeah, can you make sure that I get this done so I can save my life can be saved?"
Mhm.
Not everyone else doesn't get
I disagree, though.
that
I don't
the
think
chance
that
to live.
I don't think that most people necessarily have to have a personal experience, like somebody in their family or a close friend or a relative going through something that they disagree with, to come around to the notion that their stance on certain subjects may be a little even outdated or
No,
incorrect or inaccurate.
I want to clarify. I didn't say most people. I said
Mm.
some people.
Yeah.
I said some people.
Well,
I
I
didn't
was
say
just
most
saying that
people because I
because
don't think that's true.
I was just saying, like my question was, like, do you think that this is a human a human condition? Like, there are things that plague a lot of us that are just universal across cultures, across continents, that we all a shortcoming that we all have in as human beings. But I'm thinking this one right here, this specific one, where you have a, the panache for not being able to have any type of empathy for people, um, without having to experience, their pain personally. I think most human beings have the power of empathy.
Oh, absolutely, I agree with that. I just think that certain people, unfortunately, don't have
sociopathic,
I don't know what to call it. Don't
psychopaths,
have the ability, I would say, or
lack
yeah,
soul.
they don't have the ability to see past their own feet. Like they don't have the ability for whatever the reason is. They don't have that because it doesn't affect them. And I think a lot of people choose that. Like, you know what? And we see it all the time. And when we're on social media, we see, well, it's not my business. It doesn't affect me. I ain't worried about it. People say that, and it really goes that way. They mean it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not affecting me at the moment. It's not taking money out of my pocket. I'm still paying my bills. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
say this thing, say this all the time. And whether it's something small or whether it's something big like this, we all do it. You know what I mean? Most of us do it, regardless. You know what I mean? Perhaps we're not. Well, I don't care if anyone dies. You know what I mean? Most of us obviously wouldn't do that, like she did.
Right.
But I think to a certain point, we all kind of say, well, this is not affecting me. I don't really care, even if it's just being petty. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I understand your point. You're right. Most of us should not have to experience something to come around and say, well, wow, I should have some empathy for people that go through this. But unfortunately, that's just how it works. Some people just don't see past their own life.
Yeah, they don't.
And choose not to, and they just rather not get involved with anybody else's lives and anybody else's struggles. They live in their own little thing, and that's what it is. Until, like you said, until it affects them personally or their family, then they want to be like, oh my God, this is what it feels like. And unfortunately, some of them learn, and some of them just don't.
I like that. And I think really on top of it with this specific situation in terms of Kat Kamek, I think really what the real failure here is that she absolutely positively got to that pressure point area in her life where she got to experience um, one of those reasons of why women could have an abortion, and it wasn't because oh, I just don't want this baby and I want to go to work or something like this, or I made a mistake in choosing a sexual partner or something. Like, she had an actual health emergency, and it would have been a great time for her to get that empathy that some weirdos have to experience personally. But even with that, the fact that it's still what it is, it's still up for her, and she didn't learn her lesson at all, is, oh man, that's excruciating to watch. It's painful to watch somebody be like that, and it's very frustrating. Winifred Hatcher, sometimes things have to happen to you for you to understand certain situations. Understood.
Exactly.
And it's beautiful that she said that, because once again, I want to reiterate that this specific woman we're talking about, Kat Kamek, absolutely positively you would think went through that certain situation where she would have came to that understanding. And I don't know. I would say that she's not stupid. I think she understands. But for her to, keep that toe to line with the anti-abortion thing is crazy. And I'm with you too. I'm not for abortion. I'm not for people having.
There's a group of Americans, and I'm not gonna call them out, but there's a group of Americans and white women that are very conservative and have these feelings, and they will always feel that way. And
I was late. But go ahead.
And I'm not saying all of them, obviously. Let's make that clear. But a lot of women like her that that are of the same group as her have the same feelings, and and we all know it was reflected in the votes. We saw how many white women voted for Trump, and they knew his plan, and they knew exactly what he was about and what he was going to do, and they were clapping. And to this day, we still hear them clapping for him and saying that they will support him over and over, no matter what. Although he has disrespected women, he has hurt women, he's a rapist. We already know that. Has assaulted women. I mean, he's done it all. I mean, he's a felon. Like, what else can he do? I mean, I saw an interview earlier that they were asking, what if he kills someone? Or what if I'll still support him, like, proudly. And these were women. What if he, I'm just like, wow, what, where, I was speechless. Where's the reasoning? So, it's unbelievable.
It's
It's really
unbelievable.
unbelievable.
Well, you know it's amazing. I didn't tell you guys. Full confession here. Full whole ass confession. Guys, I don't know if you know this, but I have Truth Social. I have a Truth Social account. Here it is. I should put it up here on my little thing down here. You know, a little
Just
bar.
so you can stalk
That's
Trump,
something.
huh?
Just so I can stalk
I mean,
Donald
friends.
Trump. And guys,
Don't say his friends.
here he is at real Donald Trump. And he's texting. He's posting right now.
33 minutes ago. Who remembers this from 8
All right.
ago?
So
Alexis
2 hours
Ago.
ago. Oh wow, this is a long one,
MAGA.
guys. I gotta
Oh, that
read.
was MAGA. When did he last post it?
His last post was
Ago.
40 minutes ago.
To hear that.
48 minutes ago.
Oh wow, he went all out with it.
This
And I love
5
that
hours.
he
He's
types
posting
I
it.
think no, he doesn't type everything, so he doesn't really use. He doesn't use phones, right? He probably dictates all this stuff to the phone.
I want you
And
to
he just
tell
types it for
them
him.
in perfect English how I feel.
No, he has the little app where you dictate everything and he just floats everything for you.
Oh, he's text to talk to post.
No, what is that? There's something for that. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, but I follow him on True Social. Guys, you should get a True Social account. I did it because I see, like, Threads to me was going to be like a little hippie wonderland of ultra progressive liberal weirdos out there talking about freedom, and it has been hijacked. And Threads is starting to look like X. I'm sure, listen, I don't know if it's real people or bots, and I got a feeling that it's a great mixture of both, and I have no idea of like the ratio. Is it like 2 to 3, 1 to 1, 10 to 1? But there's a lot of bots and there's a lot of people out there on social media, and it's insane. Guys, stay out of the comments, because you're probably 9 times out of 10 not talking to someone real.
It reminds me of Facebook in 2010 mostly. That's what Threads feels like Facebook back then.
Explain. I'm trying to remember Facebook.
Like people go on there and just like on Facebook, these people used to be like just have a random thought.
Yeah,
and
you're absolutely right.
Type it on Facebook and put it out there, and then now that's what I see on Threads, and I'm like, why does this remind me of Facebook back in the day? Because I used to be like, what the heck? And it's just like random crap that people like just used to think of and just post it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it feels like.
Random shower
like
thoughts. Yeah, but the crazy thing is, what was cool about 2010 is that, like, if you hit with one, like a thought that made people also go, they would just reshare it. You know, they would save it and repost it. And Threads, they'll just steal it from you and post it as their own. You know?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never posted anything
like
that.
I will see the
not really
same
familiar
comment,
with it.
like a same comment, especially if it's a good comment. I will see it like 20 times the same comment. Just like when they do the skits, like people will do the same damn skit over and over and over and over again. Everybody's doing the same skit. Like they do that on Threads. That's what I noticed. Not like Truth Social. I mean, it has its own hangups. But yeah.
I've never been in Truth Social.
I have an idea for Democrats to bring them back into play after years of being left out in the cold, including suffering one of the greatest losses in history, the 2024 presidential election. The Democrats should nominate low IQ candidate Jasmine Crockett for president, and AOC +3 should be respectively vice president, and 3 high-level members of the cabinet added together with our future communist Mayor of New York, Zohran Mamdani. Yo, that's a good one.
Oh, that's another
New York
thing.
has a new mayor.
We should talk about
New York has a new mayor. New York has a new.
I thought Cuomo was gonna get a second chance.
Like, I'm throwing up the applause. I got the children singing. I'm hitting horns. But honestly, I am not from New York. I really haven't been following that race really closely. We do get a lot of New York news here, you know, because I am on the East Coast. So I do hear a lot. And I've heard of Mamdi. I've heard him do a couple of speeches and everything like that. Some of them said a lot of political analysts have likened him to like a socialist. He's more, I would say,
He's a socialist. That's what we
progressive.
call him, a socialist.
Um, but there are a lot of people in New York upset right now, and I think, and it was up between him and Cuomo, not Andrew. What's
Yeah.
the brother's name? The other brother. Well, both Cuomos got caught up in scandals, right?
Right.
Yeah, Andrew Cuomo, son of former New York Governor Mario Cuomo. But yeah, they got caught in some scandals. He was running. Evelyn, I could have sworn I saw you commenting on a post about Hispanics voting overwhelmingly this election for Andrew Cuomo in New York.
Yeah, they did.
I don't remember your. Do you remember what that was about? You want to talk about that?
Well, I'm not from New York, but I think in specifically in the Bronx, I think like 60% of Latinos voted for him, for Cuomo.
Right.
And the thing with that is I mean, most of them were the older voters, and that's the problem there. That a lot of older Latinos are conservative, and obviously they're Catholic. A lot of them are Catholic, and this man is over here like, whoa, who is he? He's not Catholic. He's not even a Christian. You know what I mean? Like, there's just a lot of things that and they don't want change. Like we already know Cuomo, so why not? Even though they know he's the biggest crook ever, they rather vote. I mean, that's a lot. That's high percentage, 60-some% of them to vote for Cuomo again.
Do you think they're voting at as business as usual, or do you think that hey, they're afraid of the young Muslim dude?
They're conservative. They listen to Trump. We know that older Hispanic Latinos and Latino men voted a lot for Trump. Well, I wouldn't say the majority because he wasn't the majority, but a lot of them voted for Trump, and it stems to, Latinos a lot of them are very conservative, and and this man probably poses a threat to them, like, oh, he's not Christian, he's a socialist, and it's like, they probably never took the time to learn who he was and about, how his agenda is,
Right.
and what he's proposing. Never took the time, and a lot of them are just like, oh, like you said, business as usual. We already know what Como's about. I'm not taking a chance. Let's just do what we already know, and it's like they refuse change. You know what I'm saying? I think that happened in the election in November. They refused to give her Kamala a chance and see what she could bring to the table and to our country and what changes she could bring, only because they were like, well, we already had Trump and things were good, not realizing that we were mostly at home, falling through the cracks, and so much craziness happened. People forgot so quickly. I think our memory is so short, and people forgot so quickly. And then, of course, things were pretty bad with with our last president. So, and his health, and there was a lot of lies. Like, there was a lot that people were not happy with. Shit, she's a either. That I wasn't happy with that either.
So
But
Mom Donnie
it.
is actually
that was not happening.
he's replacing Eric. What's his first? What's his?
New York is just full of crooks. I mean, Trump is from New York. Hillary's from New York. Oh my God, New York has a horrible reputation.
Eric Adams.
I'm
having
Eric
moments
Adams.
right now.
Come on, man. He messed up in every single way you can think of.
But this is what they're saying. He was born in Uganda, in Kampala, Uganda, to Indian parents, and became an American citizen in 2018. Shortly after graduating college, he lived with his family briefly in Cape Town, South Africa, before moving to New York when he was 7 years old. He's 33 now, so he's been a New Yorker for 26 years of his life. His mother is Mira Nair, and she's an award-winning filmmaker whose credit includes Monsoon Wedding, The Namesake, and Mississippi Masala. I've seen that movie, Mississippi Masala. Wow, I did not know that. And his father is Mahmoud Mamandi, and who's an anthropology professor at Columbia University. So he's come he was raised in a household with intellectuals and artists and artistic intellectuals, and he married a Syrian American artist, Rama Duwaji, earlier this year. I think I just showed a picture of his wife. I'll bring it back up in a little bit. He attended Brooklyn High School of Science, where he co-founded the school's first cricket team, which is one of the biggest sports in the world. Like soccer and cricket are like the biggest sports in the world. And he graduated 2014 from Bowdoin College in Maine, where he earned a degree in Africana Studies and co-founded his college's Students for Justice and Palestine chapter. He seems like somebody, when I'm just running down his resume, that's really outgoing, probably like a really good people person, a leader, and that he's concerned for people, and that he's willing to, walk his talk and going out and doing things like co-founding Justice for Palestine chapters at his college student union. And he worked as a foreclosure prevention counselor in Queens, helping residents avoid eviction. So it seems like he's lived a pretty much a life of service. He also said he had a notable side hustler in the local hip hop scene, rapping under the moniker Young Cardamon and later Mr. Cardamon during his first run for Senate lawmaker. So he's young. He brings some youthful energy. It looks like he wants to do things in New York to make the life of the average New Yorker just that much better. And I know I'm throwing applause. I know I'm throwing yays. But I hope he succeeds with all the positive things that he is talking about. And I hope he makes New York just a better place, because that is a tough city to govern. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
he's got the job of like
He's not gonna have, if he wins,
most United States governors.
He probably will. He's not gonna have an easy job, for sure.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
No, I said if he wins, he's definitely not gonna have an easy job.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, in New York, it's mostly Democrat. He probably will win. But it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough because, as we know, it's gonna be a hot topic. He's gonna be a very hot topic. And they're gonna attack it. They're gonna attack his background. And I hope people look past that. And obviously they have, because most people voted for him. I mean, he had like 400 and something thousand. They're not done counting, but most of the 400 and some thousand votes compared to Cuomo that only had 200 and something thousand votes. So obviously, he won by a nice amount of votes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
He's promising that he's going to be the mayor for every New Yorker. So he won the primary.
mm-hmm.
When do they run for mayor?
Yesterday, that was
The primary.
that's what we were talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right. So let me ask. When does? I'm not asking you. Let me look it up real quick.
What was the question?
That was a lot of heat. They had to go out there and vote for him in New York, because it's been hot all week.
I mean, a lot of people went out and voted, though, so that's good.
So basically, this is what happened. For the mayoral primary, it took place yesterday. But the early voting started between June 14th and 22nd. And places were open typically between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. And it said voters ranked up to 5 candidates via ranked choice voting. That no candidate reached over 50% in first choice votes. So the system activated elimination rounds. And on election night, Zoran Mamdani led with 43.5%, followed by Andrew Cuomo at 36.4%, then Brad Lander at 11.3%. So Mom Donnie was declared the Democratic nominee after Cuomo conceded through the final results. So the general election for NYC mayor is going to be held November 4th, 2025, with early voting beginning from October 25th, going through November 2nd. Same poll hours, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And he'll face, he's going to face, he's going to face Eric Adams, of course, who's running as an independent. And he's going to also face Curtis Sliwa. Do you know who that is?
No.
Oh my God! If I throw his picture up there, well, you'll probably know. Do you remember this
Yeah,
guy?
let me see. Let me see. I don't know why my YouTube is a little delayed on my TV, so sorry, I'm not
Okay.
seeing it yet.
All right, it's gonna pop up in a second. He has the red beret on because he was a guardian
Okay, I see
angel.
him.
You might remember that face. Like if you watched any New York-based talk show in the '90s, this man popped up. I could have sworn he was on like Jenny Jones,
familiar,
Montel, Ricky Lake, and he was always like being tough on kids and talking trash in the like probably Jerry. He's probably even on Springer and all this, but like, oh yeah, he's an American talk show host. So yeah, and
So he's the one running as a Republican?
he's running as a Republican.
Okay.
He's 71 years old.
Wow.
That's insane because he's got a lot of rowdiness in him. He comes off he's a little brash with his. He's a little brash. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking with Ev Love right now. She's dropping that knowledge. All right, so far we talked about Trump cursing. We talked a little bit about Iran and the bombing that's been going on over there. I was going to talk about the Ayatollah this evening because we're again talking about Ayatollahs. But we're not going to do that because it's too brainiac. I even gave y'all like a little knowledge about uranium this evening, didn't I?
A little bit.
Yep. I'm gonna let that applause go. I'm gonna give you one more yay too. A couple more horns. Thanks for calling in. Anybody else? I see you there, Winnie Boo. With your informations. Give a call in right now. 313-825-5557. It is the We episodes. It is We Wednesday, and it is just not me in here talking for a straight hour. Guys, did you see how Love, she can go, can't she?
No.
Yeah, look, they know.
Many people know him as the jump out boys in their city.
Many people do. Let me finish. Love, aka Let Me Finish. Love, aka One More Point. Right?
You know what?
No. I'm making fun of it, but I'm just being funny about it. I'm not being like facetious. Because I really do appreciate it. You brought a little knowledge, a little flair, reminded me of some things. You ignorance busted me. You know, you deleted the ignorance out of my mind by being here, using your mind.
I do have to say that if your head wasn't on your shoulders, you wouldn't know where it is. I tell you, it's that much.
Right? If my head, yeah, you're absolutely right. There's so much information going around. It's hard to.
In this world, I really just don't know how you make it in this world. God is good. I tell you that much. And thanks to me too. I'm not gonna.
Thanks to you.
Thanks to me. Well, it's
Anything
almost 9
else?
o'clock, so I'm gonna say bye to everybody.
Oh no! Before you leave, you gotta give us a topic before you're out. Another topic.
already gave you topics yesterday. What is this?
You gotta give us one before you're out, because nobody called in to tap you out. Guys, call in to get Evelyn off the line.
Stay to me.
She's got to go. 313-825-5557. Let's do one more. Let's do one more topic. I need you guys. I don't love trying to get off the phone.
I brought a few topics, so I don't know.
You brought up how many topics? One topic.
A couple of them.
You brought up one.
A couple of them.
Ramid brought up the topic about
the abortion.
Donald Trump. Oh, you did bring that up. And we just got done talking about abortion.
Talk about New York, right?
Yeah, but I brought that subject up.
Wow. Okay. You didn't even know anything about it, barely anything about it, but that's all right.
No, but I heard about it.
You saw me comment on it.
No, because we were reading Truth Social. That's what I did. I brought up Truth Social. Here it is. Remember? And I was just reading random Trump posts because, I mean, they're all random Trump posts. They're all random. And he was commenting on the mayor of New York, and our country is really screwed. He's saying our country is really screwed. Oh, you know what? This is what I want to talk about. The hypocrisy is, I think one of the points that we were talking about with hypocrisy in relation to the story of like Kat Kamek, being totally against abortion, but when it came to her trying to save her own life, she was very much for abortion. Like, I get tired of, these compilation videos because we've been saying this for years and years and years, and you can show them to their face like, yo, you're a hypocrite. And Evelyn, they don't have any sense of shame. They don't have any sense of like, oh man, you got me, you're right, whatever. They just ignore it, move on, or gaslight the out of you. And those people, it's like you can't have energy for them, but they have a lot of power, and they are in positions of power, and they're making more of them. There's more and more of them, and there's nothing you can say to them, because it's like when people say that it's a cult, sometimes I forget, because I know like when you're calling somebody in a cult, it's kind of name calling, but that name calling somebody like that is in a cult, that is fervently blinded by whatever. Like, it just made me yawn because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Like, what do you do? Like, we call out the hypocrisy all the time. This whole show, I based it on, combating misinformation, specifically in a political sphere, because it counts there. I don't care if somebody's lying on a reality TV show or something, like, to stay on the island or get kicked off the island. But this is like real life that's playing out like a reality show. And like, there are millions and millions. It's an epidemic.
It is.
What do you do? Do you have any techniques that you do to relax, to, not get so caught up in what I think is just idiocracy?
I just get off social media. I get off of it and then I don't have to see it. Because they are loud and proud on there. Loud and proud.
They are. And you don't know if you're talking to you don't know if you're talking to bots. You don't know if you're talking to people just being provocateurs so they can get views or likes. I made a claim, I don't know, maybe a couple shows earlier, I would say a little more than a couple shows, maybe about at least 8 shows earlier, 2 months ago, that, we're going to get to this point with social media that there is so much shitty information. There's so much, attitudes to, like, when you correct information to the people who are spreading it, it's just like, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, there are no rules anymore. And I think it's messing up social media. And I think really what ultimately is going to happen is that we're not going to have any of this anymore. We'll still have it, but there's not going to be a will to like seriously interact with social media anymore. Like, I think it's ridiculous. It's going to be ridiculous to look at politics, or it should be like out of fashion to look at politics on Instagram. Like, somehow as a society, it's not going to work out for us in the long haul. Not the way that it's going now. I think social media has to become something different for us. Maybe if it's just a, you know,
I don't know. I think social media has become an outlet for cowards and for people to love to say a whole lot of crap to you that will never have the balls to say it in person. I think that's their outlet. A whole bunch of angry, hateful, coward, all kinds of just negative people, and that's their outlet. A lot of them are sitting at home, calling ugly, and and then you look at the picture and you're like, man, like it's just reflection. It's a reflection of how they feel about themselves. A lot of them are. A lot of those negative comments. You don't see anybody happy and at peace with themselves commenting stuff like that, like negative and hateful things like that. So when you see those, you just know that those come from from the ugliest side of someone. And yes, as human, we don't want to ignore them because they are hurtful, and people are. That's what they're trying to do. But it's kind of sad though. It's kind of sad to think that people sit behind a phone or a computer and there's so much hate in their heart. Like, wow, I pray to God every night to never become that person. Like, I just want to be the best person I can be, because if I ever turn into that, no, what's the point?
It's over.
And it's sad to know that people really live like that.
Tourism to suffer.
I have no idea what's going on. I got a whole bunch of buttons that I.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck to do.
Oh yeah, that's
Well, all these sounds are.
Per Xavi, assistència de Xavi més cap a la dreta per Messi, Messi, immens Messi, encara Messi, encara Messi, encara Messi, encara Messi, encara Messi, encara Messi.
Sometimes I go 2 days without getting hot.
Yeah, that was for when people are being messy, I guess. But there has been no messiness this evening. Not with Love. Thou shalt not judge. We be judging on her, judge, jury, but you don't be judge, jury, and executioner. Save a job for someone else, greedy. I don't look like all right, you remember me. I would go directly I would look at a headline and I'd already be like, I know this is like a clickbait headline. Let me go directly to the comments. I'm looking at the comments and now I'm engaged in a back and forth with somebody in the comments. And every now and then this still does happen to me, but it's less frequent. It used to be like daily, multiple times a day. Now I might get into a back and forth with somebody, once a month. I think it's helped. Mm-hmm. It's helped immensely. That just staying out of comments, because people just say the dumbest shit. And I have to ask myself, sometimes I start writing, and I think that's a good thing to like start writing it out, like your response. And I realize that, it's
not worth it.
It's not worth it because I got to explain this to somebody, but I got to use the right words and tone. So it's going to be at least 5 lines of text. No one's trying to read that much. It's much easier just to write a simple line and a half, a bar or two of insult and keep it moving. But I don't even want to do that. I don't even engage in that stuff anymore. You'll get hearts if you got a good little reel or post. I'll give you a heart. If not, I keep it moving. If it's something totally dumb that comes across my screen that somebody posts, I will block. Or no, not interested. This is not for me. And that is my self-care, how I take care of myself, self-care in the digital space, right? That sounds like, that's how you got to call it. You got to label it something, and it would be self-care in the digital spaces. That sound good to you? Mm-hmm. You ain't paying attention. I know you're on Amazon right now.
No, Kiki texted me talking about if I made tacos, and I said, I did, and we went to Chick-fil-A. She said, did you get me something? We sure did.
Oh, well, it's all good. It's late. It's a show night, so it's gonna be tacos. That's what it's gonna be. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the beautiful Ev Love joined me here. It's my wife. Thanks for everybody that joined in the chat. You know, nobody can hear you.
Ev Love, the jump out boys.
No one can hear you. It's just me. It's just me right now. Yeah, everybody, thanks for coming out, talking shit, getting clicks, we episodes. There's no we without you. Catch us back here, same time, except I will absolutely positively be there at 7:30. I'm sorry for that snafu earlier. And I will see all you guys. And yeah, don't forget, click like, share, subscribe, and if you want to join the Jump Out gang, come up with a topic. We're just gonna go for it. For the lack of a better word, we're gonna raw dog it.
And don't forget to like this show.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Also, hit the alerts because I just be popping up sometimes. You know? Yeah. All right, love. We're about to go get some tacos, okay? I'm coming to the house.
Bye, love y'all.
Bye. Oh my God, guys. Oh, I never thought she would go. Welcome back to the show for the guys that stayed on. I faked it, right? I faked it like I was about to leave, but I'm not leaving, yo. We're going to overtime. Hit it. Let the children sing. It's like I'm just bullshitting. I'm out. I'll see y'all next week. Peace. We episodes. We live talking shit, getting cleats. Let the children sing.